Hey everyone, what's going on? If you're new to this channel, what I talk about is how if you pay enough attention every day, our mainstream media is coded with patterns, and if you understand what is called gematria, which is the practice of coding numbers into words and phrases that stems back to ancient knowledge such as Kabbalah, which is Jewish mysticism. And the people who have been ruling over us, they control our mainstream media, they control our sports leagues, they control our told history, and they understand this knowledge and they use this knowledge. And every day we get stories with these patterns, and these stories are coded by the numbers. So, that being said, if you still don't understand, check out some links in the description. There's a whole lot of other people talking about this as well, and I have thousands of videos showing the same patterns over and over. And the reason this story is so important today, so today we got two big stories in the mainstream media. We got a story of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle announcing that they're expecting their first child. And another big story that we got was that of Elizabeth Warren showing that she has the DNA of a Native American because Donald Trump called her Pocahontas and whatnot, right? So these two stories are coming out on the same exact day, on October 15th. If you go back to November 27th of last year, when Donald Trump was talking to these Navajo code talkers, and just think about that, code talkers, he said Pocahontas and he was talking about Elizabeth Warren again, right? He was talking about calling her Pocahontas, and everyone, they called it a racist tweet. Anyway, this story was on November 27th, 2017. This same day, what I documented in this post, even the same day, we got the story of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle becoming engaged. November 27th, 2017. So now we're getting a story about Elizabeth Warren again, and then another story about Prince Harry and Meghan Markle coming on the exact same day because they're related, and they're related through what is called gematria, which is the practice of coding numbers into words and phrases. Today came on a date numerology of 63. If you add up the date, 10 plus 15 plus 20 plus 18, if you add that up, it equals 63. That's the date numerology. And in gematria, the word Native American just so happens to equal 63. We'll write it out for you really quick. Native American, 63. What are the odds of that, Senator Warren, 63. Prince Harry, 63. Meghan Markle, 63. Also, racist comment, 63. The word Navajo, 63. And remember, he called Elizabeth Warren Pocahontas when he was talking to the Navajo code talkers. And they also had, the picture of Andrew Jackson in the background, the guy who is the president who signed the Indian Removal Act. That's exactly what goes on every day. They're making fun of you for not catching on that they are making fun of you. Every single day our mainstream media is coded this way. And what's really even more interesting is just last night I made this video talking about how we've been getting stories about Fleetwood Mac in the mainstream media, and also how Kanye West's meeting with Donald Trump at the White House was synced up to Queen Elizabeth and the royal family, right? And I made this video on today even, or on October 15th, early in the morning. So it's just kind of funny. I make this video talking about how these recent things in the media are connected to the royal family, and now today we're getting a story of Prince Harry announcing that they're going to be having a baby, right? And there's a whole lot of other things that are go along with this story. If you've been following me all summer, I've been talking a whole lot about the Cleveland Indians, and Cleveland in general is really important. And what I was talking about with the Cleveland Indians was the curse of Rocky Colavito. So I want to show you this really quick. There's this other form of gematria called satanic gematria, and just to show you that it is relevant, if you write out satanic gematria in satanic gematria, it equals 666. Think about that in regards to, satanic gematria. And it starts with A is the 36 and then so on. 36 is the 36 triangular number is 666. If you add 1 through 36, you get 666. So it is super important and super relevant. And anyway, if you write out Rocky Colavito, it equals 624. He was the player for the Indians. They got traded to the Detroit Tigers. Detroit Tigers equals 624. And this year the Indians played the Tigers on 624 even. And there was all kinds of other stuff that was going on with this date of 624. That's when modern Freemasonry was founded. And think about King James, the guy who wrote the Bible. He was a Scottish Rite Freemason. And what I pointed out about this date of 624, I forgot about, was how it is connected to the royal family as well. If you write out King Charles III, it also equals 624. And if Queen Elizabeth dies, her son Prince Charles will become King Charles III. The other two Charleses were kings during the English Civil War. And that's why Kanye West's birthday is so important, 6/8, because that's the day that the Golden State Warriors swept the Cleveland Cavaliers this year on 6/8. And the word sweep equals 68, and the word basketball equals 68. And so does Prince Charles. Prince Charles equals 68. So does Donald John Trump. It's a very important number, 68. And yesterday, that video I was talking about even came 6 months and 8 days before Queen Elizabeth's birthday. But the reason it's important is because a Cavalier in history is a follower of King Charles during the English Civil War. So there was the Roundheads and the Cavaliers. The Cavaliers were the followers to King Charles during the English Civil War. And think about that in regards to LeBron James, who is known as King James, and when Cleveland won the NBA Finals in 2016, while Donald Trump was running for president, they won it on the anniversary of the real King James's birthday. King James wins the NBA Finals on the anniversary of the real King James's birthday. And then just after that, Donald Trump had his Republican National Convention in Quicken Loans Arena in Cleveland, where the Cavaliers play. And it was synced up to Queen Elizabeth. He even opened up coming out to the song We Are the Champions by the band Queen. And it was 88 days after Queen Elizabeth's birthday. Notice Trump equals 88. Notice Elizabeth equals 88. And this was 88 days after Queen Elizabeth's birthday. And think about that in regards to Elizabeth Warren as well. And her full name, Elizabeth Ann Warren, also just so happens to equal 88. That is also why Prince Harry and Meghan Markle got engaged 8 months and 8 days before Meghan Markle's birthday. That is on the 216th day of the year. And I'll talk about this in a little bit, but Cleveland is in the 216 area code. And it's important to the number 666 because if you take 6 times 6 times 6, it equals 216. Sorry, I had a brain fart there, but if you take 6 times 6 times 6, or whatever, can't even do it here, that equals 216. And Cleveland is in the area code of the 216 area code. And I'll just write them out here. Meghan Markle, if you noticed, her name also equaled 216 in gematria, and her husband is Prince Henry of Wales, which is his whatever you call it, his real name, his real title, Prince Henry of Wales, 216, and then he marries Meghan Markle, it equals 216, who's born on the 216th day of the year. And they even called her the American Royal because she came from America and whatnot. Notice American Royal, 216. It's kind of funny that we're getting the TV show The Conners coming out tomorrow. And John Goodman, I've been talking about him as well. He's in the movie King Ralph, where he comes from America to become the American within the royal family. And also, in regards to the royal family, they also had Wallace Simpson, who was the American within the royal family. And that's important because of the Cleveland stuff, yet again. Because if you recall, what I was documenting about with Donald Trump just before he won the rigged selection in 2016, The Simpsons, they had an episode with Lisa on it, and Lisa was the woman president after Donald Trump. And Bart has this vision, and that's where he sees it. He has this vision once he goes to the Indian casino. And think about when Donald Trump won the election. The Indians had just lost in the World Series. And just before the Indians were in the World Series, we got all of these stories about Native American stuff. You know, they brought out the Dakota Access Pipeline stuff. They even gave us a story about the Dakota Access Pipeline and 127 people being arrested and whatnot. And notice North Dakota equals 127. The Indians lost in the World Series on November 2nd, the 112th World Series. You know, think about it, 112th World Series, 11/2. That just so happens to be North Dakota's 127th anniversary of being a state as well. And the Indians hadn't won since the year 48. Look at this. Cleveland equals 48 in gematria. That's why they won the World Series in the year 48. Donald Trump equals 48 in gematria. He won the biggest election upset since the year 1948 when Harry S. Truman upset Thomas E. Dewey. And, you know, he's the guy who wants to build the wall. We're told he won the election on the same day or the anniversary of the Berlin Wall coming down. Notice wall also equals 48 in gematria. The Mexican-American War came to an end in the year 1848, right? That 48. Think about the wall in Mexico. And then once again, the 48. Mike Pence became the 48th vice president. Think about Mike Pence. He's from Indiana, the land of the Indian. And then Trump calls her Pocahontas at the Navajo Code Talker meeting, you know, or the whatever he was doing, congratulating them. There's this humongous Native American theme with Donald Trump. And what else was interesting that year that I pointed out was that we also got the closest supermoon since the year 1948. And the supermoon that we got that year just so happened to be on 11/14, which just so happens to be Prince Charles's birthday. Prince Charles, who will become King Charles if Queen Elizabeth dies, his birthday just so happened to be the day of the closest supermoon since the year 1948, and he was also born in the year 48. And King Charles I died at the age of 48, and Charles II in gematria equals 48. And the word Freemason, just pointing out, Freemason also equals 48. So you see, hopefully you see how it's all synced up. His birthday too is 11/14, which is also interesting with this Jewish cipher, because if you write out Native Americans with an S, it equals 1,114, a lot like that date of his birthday, you know? And the reason that that is so significant as well, well, Native Americans is also interesting because it equals 154, and the 154th day just so happens to be 6/3. And remember, Native American equals 63. But the reason that I bring up Prince Charles yet again is because in gematria, I want to take away a couple of these so you don't get confused here. We'll leave Satanicon, but we'll take the Jewish off. In gematria, if you write out the word baby, it just so happens to equal 30, which is interesting because this story comes 30 days after Prince Harry's birthday on September 15th to October 15th, just so happens to be 30 days. And if you go to Prince Charles's birthday, it also just so happens to be 30 days. Right? 30 days. The word baby equals 30. It syncs up to Prince Harry. It syncs up to Prince Charles. All of this stuff I've been talking about all summer with the Cleveland Indians syncs up to all of this. And to go back to what I was saying in the beginning, Rocky Colavito equals 624, Detroit Tigers equals 624. You know, they played each other on 624 this year. 624 just so happens to be the day that leaves 190 days in the year. And King Charles, or King Charles III, well, I can't remember what it is now. Yeah, King Charles equals 190. King Charles equals 190. King Charles III equals 624. And 624 leaves 190 days in the year. And also, if you go from Queen Elizabeth's birthday, which is on 421, to Prince Charles's birthday, they just so happen to be born 6 months and 24 days apart. What are the odds of that? 6 months, 24 days apart. King Charles III equals 624. It's this humongous thing I've been following all summer. I thought it was for the Cleveland Indians to be in the World Series, but now I'm learning a whole lot more because I forgot that it was connected to Prince Charles that I talked about back in June. I just completely spaced it off. I hadn't been seeing these stories about the royal family. But anyway, I'll leave some links in the description. I didn't really look that much into this. I just noticed that these two stories came out on the same day, just like when Donald Trump called her Pocahontas, and that was big in the mainstream media with the Navajo people. So there's a definite pattern, especially when all of these things equal the same thing in gematria, syncs up to Native American. The Cleveland stuff syncs up to Native American. It also syncs up to when Donald Trump was elected or selected, syncs up to Prince Charles. So I'll leave some links in the description. Have a good one. Learn to apply this knowledge every single day. Just, it's not very hard just to pay attention to these patterns that go on within the mainstream media. So, have a good one. Peace.